A growing body of research is showing that 8 out of 10 people who have ADHD also have suffered a traumatic event, thereby putting people with ADHD at a 4 times higher likelihood of also developing PTSD as a result. Why does this happen? Well, let's talk about that. First of all, why am I recording this video outside? Well, one of the reasons why is that I feel safe here. Recording a video on ADHD and PTSD is inherently vulnerable, and so I wanted to be in a space where I feel safe. Now you're like, Rob, there's bears, mountain lions, coyotes. I've seen all of those within half a mile of the place that I'm standing right now. In fact, I've got my dog tethered to a tree over there, so if you hear any noises, it's her, it's not, and well, let's hope it's not a mountain lion. When recording something about ADHD and PTSD, I need to feel like I am safe because this is vulnerable and this is something that I think is very important to share because I am not the only one that has this. So let's talk about this. Today is an introduction. We're going to talk about very specific things. There are overlap symptoms. So ADHD has its own set of symptoms. PTSD has its own set of symptoms. But when you have the two together, they mesh and they create a subset of combined symptoms. We're going to talk about those, but there's way too many of them to talk about in one video, so watch for subsequent videos. At a very fundamental level, ADHD kind of messes with our body's automatic programming for rest and relaxation. PTSD messes with our body's automated alert system. An out-of-whack alert system with an out-of-whack suppression system a lot of times can just feel like a lot of alarms that you can't turn off. That can be very disorienting. So when the alert system is out of whack and the suppression system is on the fritz, we seem to get combination symptoms that occur from both ADHD and PTSD that come together. Now, what are some of these? People with ADHD and PTSD are hyper, moody, reckless, unpredictable, like just pretty much impossible, right? Well, no. Those are our responses. Like, I am not my responses, I am me. Yes, I have ADHD. Yes, I have PTSD. Yes, this leads to some automatic responses that the body offers to us as an option to utilize in order to overcome a certain situation and become regulated. We don't have to choose these automatic responses. These are just pre-programmed factory settings that, for whatever reason, our body thinks works. In my case, they didn't really work. It may lead to some responses that we just might not be proud of. Is there hope? Yes. Can we fix this? Yes. It's important to realize that our responses are not us. They're our responses. And so I started to wonder, well, why? Why do we respond this way? And so I started to do a little bit of a deeper dive into figuring out why I react the way I react in certain situations and what could be done to overcome it. I had tried therapy. I had tried meds. I've tried all these other things, and although each of the things on their own can kind of help, nothing really replaces your ability to go in and rewrite your own code, rewrite your own owner's manual, and decide how you are going to respond in situations where in the past your automated response led to a blow up. This meant that I needed to learn how to create a relaxation system in the face of having an alert system that's kind of alarms blaring out of control most of the time. How did I do this? So realizing that ADHD is kind of a baseline, lower level parasympathetic function, that's nerd speak for our relaxation system, I needed to find a way to program a patch. All right, when we've got PTSD and ADHD, we got to learn how to put on the brakes. Some of the things that we need to learn to put the brakes on for are the following symptoms. Difficulty concentrating and learning in school, easily distracted, often doesn't seem to listen, disorganization, hyperactive, restless, sleep disturbances, and self-destruct sequences. Through a series of videos, I'm going to talk about some tips and tricks and strategies that I've found helpful in overcoming each of these various types of symptoms and the benefit that it has provided in my life. You don't have to be frustrated. You don't have to be on a hair trigger. You don't have to feel like, what's the point? Life can actually be pretty wonderful, and as soon as you've learned how to focus your ADHD and PTSD together, at this point, like, I've gained a lot of benefit from it, and it feels like I have a superpower now, and life just feels like it's too short in its remainder, where before, when I was feeling those symptoms on a daily basis for over 40 years, life just felt like the most painful, drawn-out death sentence ever. So there is hope. There is a way to overcome these things. You can feel better. You can actually gain control of your life, and you can live it to the fullest. And one of the fun things about having ADHD is our capacity to have a more full life because of our creativity And well, the fact that we just don't really care about convention, and also don't really care too much about authority. Like, our oppositional defiance serves us well because it keeps us in places where we get to do things that bring us joy and not just serve other people. If you're finding any of this helpful, please hit like and subscribe. Makes me feel like doing this stuff is useful. Otherwise I'll just keep it to myself. But I think there's a lot of benefit to be had from sharing my experiences and also hearing what your experiences are as well. Put it, your experience in the comments. Would love to hear and share, and see if there's things that we can do to help each other find, a little more fulfillment, meaning, and a little more rest and relaxation in our otherwise ADHD and PTSD lives.